Good evening and welcome to a pop-up edition of Day 4 with Frank Scalish. Been all over the dang country, Frank, so we had to work one in since I'm headed to the Table Rock Lake tomorrow.
Yes.
So I said, hey, let's drop a Cinco de Mayo show. I don't know. I don't really have we have a fairly good idea of the demographics of our Day 4 listening audience. That being said, I would be curious in what percentage of that demographic is out running amok on Cinco de Mayo.
I'm not 100% sure, but I smashed about 4 tacos before we went live.
Was it because of Cinco de Mayo, or was it just a coincidence? Because Steve has you in the taco count. He's at 10 or 15. I feel like when you don't know how many tacos you have eaten and the range is 5 tacos, that maybe it's time to step away from the taco bar.
I think you're correct in that assumption. Absolutely correct in that assumption.
Did you intentionally have tacos because of Cinco de Mayo?
Nah, my wife wanted them.
Oh, what are the holidays that are? What are the non-major holidays that the Scalish is like? Christmas, 4th of July, Thanksgiving, New Year's. What are and Easter is what Easter. I would say are the major. Are there any other kind of minor holidays that the Scalish family partakes in?
No, we partake in fishing holidays. That's what we partake in. No, not really. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary. Just the typical, the typical ones everybody celebrates.
Yeah. Does Rachel decorate? I know you don't decorate the house because being a newlywed with Court moving in January, she has a Rubbermaid box for every holiday.
Outstanding.
Like Easter, 4th, it goes Valentine's Day, Easter, 4th of July.
Outstanding. No, we don't. Rach does a little bit here and there. I mean, we do. Well, she does, not me. Although I get roped into it.
Yeah.
Amazing
drill. All the things you could buy. You spend a lot of time at Hobby Lobby these days for minor holidays.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I have friends that do everything.
All the minors. What about Earth Day? Court's born on Earth Day, and when she was in grade school, the teacher asked them all to come up front if they were born on a holiday, and she very excitedly went up to the front. The teacher asked her, "What holiday were you born on?" And she said, "Earth Day." And the teacher told her, "That's not a holiday. Go sit down." And she has been 30 years later, still scarred from that experience.
I hate it when your hopes are dashed. Oh, that poor girl.
Anyway, just to get things going right off the hopper, it is Dinger de Mayo.
It's
over
Dinger
on
de Mayo.
lurenet.com.
Dinger de Mayo.
8 packs, $279, 30 packs, $9.99, 100 packs, $28.99. I do not know if those are on sale or if those are the prices. Feel free to try capital BTL 25 at checkout. You may or may not get an additional 15% off.
You may or may not. Well, the thing about this is you guys got to pay attention to the newsletters. If you signed up for the newsletters, if you didn't sign up for them, you should sign up for them, because what's going on is there's going to be different promotions throughout the month and specials, one-day specials throughout the month. And you don't want to miss out if it's something you want and it's marked down quite a bit. You don't want to miss that.
How do you store your 100 packs of dingers? I don't care what type of stick bait it is. I have big bites, I have Yamamoto's, I have dingers, and I've got the big bags of them, and I don't know how to store them to where you don't end up with a wonky shaped.
Yeah, the curly cues.
Yeah. Is there any tricks to dinger storage?
Well, I mean, I'm a little more anal than most probably, but I have bags and I put them in the bags so they're not heavily weighted. So they'll be all nice and straight in the bag, and then I take the air out of them and zip them shut. That's how I do it, because when I found that when I store the bulk ones, the weight of them leaches out the plastic, and that's what disforms the bait.
Okay.
And so
you put them in smaller bags?
Yeah, and I line them up like my fingers, line them up like that in the bags.
Like Lincoln Logs.
Yeah, pretty much. Keep them nice and straight.
Very cool. The dinger may make an appearance later in the show today. We're talking about, I don't think we've ever done a full show on bluegill and the importance that they play in the feeding and life cycle of the largemouth bass. We're also going to have Frankie on later in the show. Top 10 for him and Juice's Jigs, Jarrett Morrison, in the Dick Hiley St. Jude Bass Classic. They finished 7th out of 100 teams on pool 4 and 5A out of Wabasha.
Nice.
Almost 21 pounds on the first day, 18 and a half on the second day. We'll let him tell the story, but it's a 6-fish limit, and they were 8 miles away in a backwater with 11 minutes left and 5 fish in the live well.
Ooh. that's another one of those. I hate it when my hopes are dashed.
and they were in what you call a pickle, and I believe that they managed to work themselves out on some last cast heroics by Frankie. One of those where I think the fish still had the bait in its mouth in the live well when they checked in, because there was no time to unhook it. I've never done that. I've heard of guys doing that. Have you ever actually tossed a hooked fish in the box to get back in?
Yeah, at the last tournament of my rookie season on the Elites, I made the Classic that way. I ran a very long way to catch one bass, and I got him, and I had no time left. I threw it in the live well with the 10-inch worm still in his mouth, rod laying in the bottom of the boat, and I barreled back to the weigh-in and made it back with a minute to spare, and wound up making the Classic because of that fish.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. But you know what? Go ahead. I apologize.
No. Keep going, because I was going to completely transition back to the bluegill.
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
Okay. Well, I stepped on your transition then.
No, you didn't. It was perfect. So the reason we're doing a bluegill show today is because this Thursday, is the release of the Bomber Fat-Free number 6 in my bluegill color.
It's a classic bluegill pattern too.
Oh, it's so good. It's got the purple. It's got the purple on it.
Orange belly, the bluish.
Blue,
I mean, that is like would you call that a bull bluegill color?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it is. And so because I have to talk about it today, because today's actually going to be for Thursday. Yeah. So we're talking about the release. Remember, this drops Thursday.
May 7th.
You don't want to miss it. And I can tell you right now that I am not going to miss it, and I'm buying a dozen of them. So because
you're buying a dozen, yeah, that is right up your alley for what you fish and where you fish.
Right, because I want these are for fishing. So anyway, so we'll just get into a little bit. I'm going to touch on some things in here, and then we're going to get into the real bluegill. But one of the most prevalent food source for largemouth bass especially is the bluegill. The bluegill is probably one of the most widely distributed food sources for largemouth bass, literally found in almost every lake, reservoir, and river system across this country and southern Canada. Its range is amazing. That's why I designed this bluegill color. I intentionally put the color in the fat-free shad number 6 in order to solve a few issues during the bass's post-spawn period. The first thing we want to do is let's talk about this bait for a minute, because it's an important bait for me. It dives 6 to 12 feet on 12-pound fluorocarbon. It'll dive 4 to 10 on 15, and it'll dive even shallower on 17. It's important to know that, because the 17 won't hurt the action on this bait at all. And it gives you the ability to fish the perfect size at a much shallower depth and fish it effectively. The other thing, this bait has a very tight wobble, which actually imitates the way the bluegill swim, almost to the T. So real quick, I'm gonna blow through this, Matt. We're gonna get real detailed in a minute.
Okay.
All right. So at the post spawn to early summer, the bass begin to leave their spawning areas. However, the bluegill at this point in time are starting to spawn. So this slows the bass's progression out to their summer patterns. This slows it down. You got to look at structure during the post spawn for bass. The most important thing is you still need to fish structure that is connected to the mainland, whether it's flats, points, whatever it is. If it's connected to the mainland in some capacity, that's your post spawn areas. Ironically enough, those are your spring areas prior to pre-spawn. It's the same places. You'll catch them in the exact same places. Your main targets, they're going to be channel swings, high spots, flats, irregularities along those shallower channel edges. The presence of rock and wood makes these spots even better. And if the bluegills are spawning on those flats, that's the gold brick right there. Usually when I'm fishing the post-spawn period and I'm fishing the fat freeze, I've got a couple of rods rigged with different size line, so I don't have to constantly fumble around. When I'm at the right depth, I pick the rod with the line that gets the bait to the right depth. And then I don't have to keep bouncing back and forth. I can just grab the rod. It's already, it's already rigged. But that's why I designed the bluegill bait, the fat free number 6. And like I said, I'm buying a dozen of these because these are being fished. Originally, I wanted it in the line in the catalog, and they wanted it a signature series because of how cool it looked. And so I didn't fight them on it. I'm just like, well, okay, I'm just going to buy a ton of them then.
Now, the one that they have in is a more of a translucent kind of bluegill, not nearly as defined. When it comes to this time of the year, the bluegills are spawning, correct?
Correct.
So is that when they're vibrant? Especially that's when they're vibrant. So that's when you want the vibrant, the bars, the orange throats, the blues on the backs, because that's what those bass are used to seeing down there, as opposed to a more muted color like the rest of the time of the year.
Correct. That's exactly correct.
Okay.
So crazy enough, I had an aquarium. I actually still have it. It's 125 gallon. And in the beginning, I had bass, bluegill, crappie, perch, and walleye in it. And my wife got sick and tired of them hiding all the time, and I tried to explain they're ambush predators and blah blah blah. So she wanted.
Sure, she was riveted with that conversation.
Yeah, exactly. I held her interest for about 10 seconds. At the minute I said ambush predators, she was out. So at any rate, I went to.
Frank, where are your damn fish?
Yeah, exactly. They never swim around. And I said, yeah, when I put the goldfish in, they all come out and eat them. But at any rate, so I raised discus after that, which is a very, very colorful tropical fish found in Brazil.
Or cichlid, whatever you call it.
Cichlid, found in Brazil. They're beautiful fish. They're gorgeous, actually. And I noticed something very similar to them in the bluegill, is that when the bluegill got aggressive, their colors became vibrant, solid, pure. And the same thing with the discus. When the discus go to feed or they're fighting for territory, their colors get unbelievable. So that's very true with the bluegill, Matt. You're 100% correct about that. The other thing that people don't realize, well, maybe a lot do, but some might not. Bluegill will spawn 2 to 3 times in a season.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they don't just spawn in the spring. Now, the spring is the major spawn, but there's smaller spawns that go on. What kind of shenanigans we got going?
We're talking about neutrally controlled chromatophores here.
Yeah, this is
why the bluegills change color.
This is BTL, Bluegill Talk Live.
Yeah.
And so, and so at any rate, so in the spring, when the bass are in their post spawn stage and the bluegill are spawning, the bass actually they hunt bluegills at this time, and they literally will sit outside those spawning beds and just wait for the right opportunity, and they'll take advantage of it. Why? Because they're opportunistic predators.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the bluegill, and here's another crazy thing about bluegill, which I learned ice fishing, but I saw it vividly with live scope. Bluegill occupy a lot of the water column. I have seen some of the biggest schools of bluegill I have ever seen in my life on offshore flats in 11 to 15 feet of water. I'm talking schools of hundreds of them. And the only reason I know they were bluegill is because I was crappie fishing and I was catching them. And I mean, I literally I've never seen that to that.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I don't think I can remember seeing it either, but I've also seen a lot of schools of bait fish that I'm like, I wonder what those are, because they weren't moving.
Right. And here's the crazy thing. So while those bluegills are in 11 to 15 feet, there's still bluegills that are on the bank, shallow. They're just like bass. Some bass don't leave the shallows, some do. Most of them will in the summer, but with the bluegills, you could catch them on the shore all summer long, and you could literally catch them on offshore structure, the same stuff that you're catching largemouth on in the summer, because I've done that too. And so this animal literally goes anywhere and does
very prevalent throughout the
yes,
ecosystem.
Absolutely. And it's unbelievable. And here's another thing that I saw. So when I used to perch fish a lot on Lake Erie, I would see I'd launch my boat and I would see all the perch boats out there, and they're all in big rafts. Matt, you know from perch fishing.
Yeah, if you haven't experienced it, I'm trying to explain to someone from like Gunnersville what the perch on the Great Lakes looks like. You're like, oh, there's no one out today, and then on the horizon you start kind of seeing a couple of the bigger dots, and then it looks like a small city.
Yes.
And it's spread out over 5 miles.
Yes.
And then you look around and there are groups of 10 boats in the size of a football field, and then there's maybe a boat every football field for 5 miles.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And they're on just mud flats.
That's exactly where I was going. So what the perch do on the mud flats is they eat all the invertebrates and larvae that are in the mud. When they come up, they eat them.
So that's what they're doing on the mud flats. It's not just that they like the mud, it's that there's stuff coming out of the mud, like there's like grubs in the grass on dry ground. There's stuff in the mud that is hatching.
Correct. And
I was unaware of that. I always wondered why they flocked to the mud flats.
Yeah, it's true. And bluegill do the same thing.
Wow.
Yeah, I've seen bluegill on mud flats in some of the inland lakes here, and it's unbelievable. And the bluegill do the same thing. So this animal literally eats about anything it can fit in their mouth. I mean, they're like freshwater piranhas. They eat everything they can bite on. I mean, it's unbelievable. And so it's very important to the bass, because it's a main forage base for bass. No matter what anybody tells you, it's a main forage base for bass. Now, the lakes with blueback herrings and the shad populations and stuff like that, remember from one of our other episodes, there's 3 types of bass that live in the lake. What?
I just did what it is. I gave you the 3 types of bass.
Yeah, exactly. So
tell them.
What's that?
Tell the 3 types, and this will make sense then.
Yeah. So you have your pelagic chasers that do nothing but roam underneath the moving shad. You have your main lake residents that literally live their entire lives on the main lake. And then you have your creek residents that live their entire lives in the creeks and never leave them.
Yeah.
And those are your three.
And the sweet spots are when two of those three cross.
That's correct. Whenever you have that's exactly right.
That's why I went 1-1 cross.
Exactly. So whenever you have, if you have pelagics that run across main lake residents on structure, that structure now has more bass on it.
Mm-hmm.
If you have pelagics that migrate up the creeks, now they're running into the bass that live up the creeks, and you got more bass in there.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why the bluegill is so important, because they occupy all of that water all of the time.
And the other thing, when we were getting ready for the show, that I was thinking about was, you're traveling around all these different lakes, and you've got alewives and bluebacks and other gizzard shad. Are there threadfin shad? Are there herring? Like, I'll go on the TVAs and I'll catch these things and I'll be like, what the hell is this? So skipjacks and stuff. But the one forage base that is in every lake that I have ever launched my boat on in freshwater, from New York to Florida, I've never launched in California yet, all the way to Texas to Minnesota, is bluegill.
Yep.
It doesn't matter where you're fishing, pond, river, stream, bank, anything. There are some species of bluegill in that fishery that bass eat. And I had never really thought about that before, because I don't ever really think of targeting bass that are feeding on bluegill outside of the obvious. Those are bluegill beds. Let's throw a prop bait, a popper, a wake bait, a dinger, something around them that looks like it. And then I forget about them the other 365 days. And the only time you visually see them is either when they're spawning or when you're going around docks on a place like we're about to go to Table Rock, and you'll see them up underneath. Other than that, they're kind of mysterious.
Yeah. And the weird thing, like the first time that I encountered bluegill beds that were actually important was on Gunnersville.
Really?
Yeah. If you weren't fishing around the spawning bluegills, you weren't catching the right size bass. It was, I didn't think, I was like you, Matt. I didn't think it really mattered much.
Mm-hmm.
But over there, like, that TVA chain, dude, if the bluegill are spawning, you got to be by the spawning beds, because that's where the big bass are. Now, once they're done, the big bass, they go to where they want to go. Of course, grass lakes keep the bass a little shallower.
Are we generically referring to long ears, red ears, pumpkin seeds, warmouths, bluegills, all under the bluegill name for this show?
We'll call them the panfish.
Yes.
Panfish.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because I know in Florida you can get more into the shell cracker stuff, and out in the Havasu, and then you have the true bluegills, and you have long ear, you have all sorts, but they all behave similarly with nuances.
Right. They do. I mean, they honestly do.
And more so up north is where you get in Oklahoma. Like, you're not going to go out on Thunderbird and find a reef of bluegill suspended in 15 foot out there. But I know, having been up north, that is very, from Illinois north, that is very common.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I literally couldn't believe it. I said, what in the hell is going on here? And they were bluegills. And I mean, I was stunned at how many. I mean, there were schools and schools and schools of them, and I was absolutely shocked at how many.
Mm-hmm. So in your experiences then, do the bass, okay, like, here, let me see if I can just pull up this here. I'm going to pull up this photo of a bluegill. That doesn't look like something friendly that a bass would choose to eat if given the option between a shad and that spiky thing that can turn on a dime and move.
Right. And well, the thing is they eat them head first.
Okay.
They have to eat them head first. They can't eat them like a shad. They can slurp it in by the tail if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
but for the most part, most bass eat other fish head first. That's why sometimes they'll bump something, and then, like, a lot of times when you're jerkbait fishing, the jerkbait's in the fish's mouth head first. That's when he turns on it and gets it the way he's supposed to get it. When they're hooked on the outside of the face, a lot of times that's because they're bumping it to get it so they can get it and turn it around and swallow it head first.
Mhm.
Because they can't swallow a perch or a bluegill from the tail. It's impossible.
Kyle Mass with a good question. He said, do the bass get in the pad fields early season then to eat the crappie and the bluegills? Which leads me to, I've always heard, and I am not a pad fishing or mat fishing expert, but the guys that are always talk about hearing the bluegill in the pad fields.
Yeah, you can hear them
that
popping.
Are productive.
Yeah, you can hear them popping. They make a. They're slurping.
And they're eating the bugs on the underneath of the pads.
Yeah, snails mostly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's wild. It's truly wild. That's a really good early spring bass trick, is to fish the dead pad stalks and stuff first, because your first movement of bass go right to them. Up north, we do that here. That they won't even be green vegetation, and they'll be in those dead pad stalks and dead cane. Yeah.
Early ice out bass.
Yeah.
So do you think, and we had, Dinger, DeMaio and stuff looking at, do you think I'm kind of thinking through my thought process right now to where a weightless dinger up shallow, green pumpkin, little chartreuse dye on the tail of it, a popper, a whopper plopper, that style stuff. Are there a lot of baits that you think the bass are interpreting as a bluegill, but the angler is not intentionally trying to mimic a bluegill with those baits?
Like, my favorite's prop bait, because when you pull a prop bait, it goes, sounds just like those little bluegill eating the stuff off the top. And that prop bait for me during the post spawn, when the bluegill are on beds, is disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
It's disgusting.
Well, I mean, a creature bait in green pumpkin is a bluegill.
Yeah, pretty much. And if you look at the
critter, or any of those.
Yeah, if you look at the bluegill tail, they got iridescence on the outside of the tail. And that's why I have a tendency to dye just the edges of the tail chartreuse. I don't want it too vibrant. I just want it like the bluegill tail. But it's really amazing to me how these ecosystems work.
I'm more interested in thinking about the offshore bluegill that never cross, and that's where that fat-free comes into play.
Yeah, I've painted baits. I've had bluegill baits and perch baits that I painted literally decades ago, because when they're on them offshore, they want that pattern. And it's amazing. Oneida was a place where, in Bassmasters, where I first experienced my painted baits. I did like a bluegillish perchy kind of color. I wanted something in the middle, representation. But what I did was I put bone on the sides, so it could go either way. Bone on the sides, and I pearled it up real nice, and I put a little bit of highlights of chartreuse in it, and there were times when I was catching 2 at a time on it. Now I'm 100% sure the smallmouth I was catching thought it was perch, but the largemouth probably assumed it was a bluegill.
Mm-hmm. And then this bite, the bluegill bite is a year-round bite that is pretty much just talked about during this time of the year.
Because because it's the time. Most of them are bedding.
Now here's where we get into the weeds. Obviously, I know that bluegill like weeds. That wasn't a joke there, but
hey, well done.
I have a difficult time post spawn specifically. I know there are bluegill spawning on the lake somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I have a very difficult time figuring out where I need to go look for them. Every time I have found them, it has been by accident. And I know the pop R masters, the guys who are really good. I mean, there are guys who have exploited this bite for careers for 2 months on tour. But I don't know where, just like it is with the bass, I get on the lake, and if I'm like, okay, let's go look for bluegill beds, there's 2 ways I find them. I either go, oh my God, look, there's bluegill beds while I'm going down the bank, or I look on my side imaging and I see with all the holes, and it looks like Swiss cheese, and I'm like, oh my God, the bluegills are spawning there, but I don't know where to go look for them. It always is an accidental find.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the reality of it is it's going to be bottom composition for them. And so what I have a tendency to do is I look for, if you want to find numbers of bluegill beds, I look for flats.
Okay.
And it's going to be dependent on how clear the water is as to how deep the flats they're going to use are. And if there's grass on the lake, they're going to use the inside grass edge most of the time. Where the grass breaks up and doesn't go all the way to the bank, they'll use the inside grass edge. I know that's very popular in Guntersville. They'll also use shell beds a lot for main lake spawning. They'll use shell beds a lot. The easiest way I've found to find them is exactly what you just said, side imaging, because you can't mistake it. You cannot mistake it. I mean, they're honeycombed and they're together. Bass don't honeycomb like that. When bass make beds, they're scattered and they're usually by some other object. And they'll be more like in Florida, you get a lot of bass in the same area because of the grass, because they'll make individual beds. Yeah, that's it. 100%. There's no mistaking that.
When you see that, I saw that in Florida and was so confused the very first time I ever saw that on side imaging, what that was.
What do you think? It was alligator skin?
No, I didn't know. I had no clue what it was. And someone from Florida was like, yeah, that's where you Carolina rig, son.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly right. But they're super easy to find on side imaging. Super easy.
Okay, so good question here, John Bassett. I've seen them on my side scan and seen all the holes on the bottom, but I don't know how the bass relate to that. So if you see this on your side imaging, how are you going to approach that with a bait?
Well, the thing, the problem with this picture is it's almost featureless, and I'm sure it's not. And so I'm going to guess the spot that you had up there that's closer behind the beds. Go back to that photo. The spot that's behind the beds looks like a ridge line to the bank.
You're talking about right in here.
Yes.
Okay.
And so that's your bass are going to cruise that area, or they're going to come in from behind them deep into shallow.
So you're not actually just going to fish the actual beds. You're going to fish the nearest structural element relating to those beds.
Right. All the way around them.
I like it.
Yeah. Now you could throw a glide right down the middle of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Because here, think about this. The bass will be hunting and you throw a glide and it's just coming across mid water column over those beds. And the bass are like, oh gosh, there's a bluegill. It's just like throwing the prop baits out there. They hear the commotion. They see it. They come and get it. Those bass are somewhere near there. It's hard to look at a image like that and go, they're going to be here or there. Because there's more to that area than just those beds.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, but just finding those, you're very close to where the bass are going to be. You're very close.
Very cool. Thursday morning, May 7th.
Yeah.
LureNet.com. Show that bait again, Frank. The bomber in the Frank Scalish signature series pattern. There's your bluegill stuff. All right, you want to talk a little derby action?
Yeah, let's talk. I'm curious, man. Curious. I'm a curious dude.
Have you talked to Frankie about the Jude?
Briefly,
But haven't really dove into.
not in too much detail.
There's Frank, the man, the myth, the legend, back from his bass fishing bender.
Yeah. We split the road trip.
Grand Lake, then Oklahoma. I called Frank. I said, there's a Scalish at the house. I said, I'm trying to mow my yard, and Frank Jr. has 3 props in the backyard next to the boat. I literally was mowing the grass. I looked around and I was like, I didn't know you could carry that many props with you.
Hey, I was going to the river, man.
And I made the mistake asking a question. He started going into the 3 and 4 and 5 and the lift and all that. And I was like, thank God for day 4. I actually could have a conversation about that.
That's funny.
That's hilarious, dude.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
you're
Okay,
good.
cool.
You got us.
That's
that St. Jude, big shout out to the BTL day 4 listeners. Almost $1,000 raised just for the 10 color number 7 Zara Spooks that you and I signed, Frank, that went directly to part of the 1.375 or something million dollars that was raised just for this year, and helped break the $10 million mark for the 28-year history of the event. So
wow,
very
that's
cool.
impressive, man.
If there's any tournament that will get you out of retirement, I think that the St. Jude might be our best shot with old Frank.
The last year I tried before I called Juice. No offense to Juice, I love him to death. But I tried to get Dad to do it, and he was like, you go have fun. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I wanted to get you on to talk a little bit about it. It was a great tournament. It's a 6 fish limit, so it took a little bit over 22 pounds a day to win that event. So just a 3 3/4 pound average. But this tournament, Junior, to me encompassed everything we've gone over in 240 day 4s, because you had rising water, pre-spawn, post-spawn, spawn, smallmouth, largemouth, sand drops, current seams, sun, wind, rain,
Grass.
fishing pressure, grass, everything under the sun. And all 100 guys, you had lakes, you had rivers, you had backwaters, you had main river, and it all played.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, this year going up there, I was talking to Juice, and I was like, bro, we can't rely on 2 stretches this time. Like, we've got to go find fish. And we had a day less practice this year, which is fine. I feel like year over year, I feel like I'm a little more efficient now. But that river, man, I know somebody's gonna get mad at me for saying this, but like, that river's hard. It's a hard river to fish. And like, every time I'm there, we run so much stuff, and I'm like, dude, how are they not here? Like, this is literally perfect. And then I find them on stuff, and I'm like, why are you here? why are they pinned up right here? It doesn't even make any sense.
Is that pretty normal for rivers, Frank? For rivers to be fickle?
I think with the river system, a lot of it plays on current. You have your main current, your secondary currents, you have your eddy currents, and your slack water. And I think a lot of it plays. The problem, well, not the problem, but the thing with where you guys were at the time of year you were there, you were starting to get some pre-spawn movement from the largemouths. And so that was changing the game a little bit, because those bass want to be the backwaters. The smallmouths will be just on the inside of the secondary current breaks, and they'll spawn there by the sandbars and stuff. And so you had options. You get options at that time of year over there. And that's what I think you're coming into play. But it's like anywhere. You have to find them to catch them. And they are not everywhere. And even though it looks beautiful, I mean, it might look great, but there's one of the components is missing for them to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so if you could figure out what components you need to have, you could find more fish faster. And so that's what you got to pay attention to when you're pre-fishing for these river events this time of year.
And I only practiced for one day. Bart did most of the practicing. I'm not sitting here claiming, oh, I found him with Bart. Like, I showed up and said, take me to the fish, I'll catch him.
Yeah. Hey,
No, I'm not even apologizing for it. That was my game plan and strategy. But just in the 3 days that I was on the river, the 2 days of tournament, and the 1 day of practice, I'm curious to get your thoughts on this. It seemed like with the rising water that the current changes that fishery hourly. And that is really hard to practice for without decades of experience on a specific pool.
Yeah. It's easier to fish those rivers on a falling water than it is on the rising, because the rising water sneaks currents in places where there usually isn't any. On normal pool, some places won't have current, but when the water's rising, it will have current. And the fish can get farther back too. That's the other thing.
Did you find that too, Frankie? Like, you were like, oh, I wonder if now the stuff that I fished here, I didn't get bit, now they're piling in.
That's not really, I mean, honestly, dude, that's not really how I attack that place. I do things a little different. So my approach to that place, because I don't have a history there, right? Like your partner, Bart, he's really, really good on that river, and he's got a lot of time on rivers where I really don't. So, like, sure, I might understand the game theory of rivers, but to go find all these little nuances of like pool 5 or 4, like that takes a lot of time. And, you know, and it really wouldn't even help going up there like 2 weeks ahead of time, because every year during our tournament, it's an instant change from day 1 to 2. So I try to attack. I try to simplify it. So I try to find areas that are less rivery.
Okay.
So I try to focus more on like ponds, lakes style.
Resident fish.
Yeah. Which
that are going to make
hard.
micro adjustments instead of migrations.
So like, but I know going into this tournament that we have to really work an area, especially day 2, to grind out 4 to 5 bites and count on one of our other places giving one more up. So like this year was really different. So the area we caught them in last year, especially day 1, it had fish again this year. So we went in practice, we instantly caught a couple, and I'm like, dude, we're not even going to work this area. It's a little different. The grass is different. There was a lot more curly leaf pondweed than like a milfoil coontail mix like last year. School. But what I found last year that I didn't realize until the last 5 minutes of the tournament is if I'd have just kept going up, I would have, there was sand drops up there. So at the end of the tournament last year, I found them on the sand drop in like 12 inches of water.
That. I do not understand sand drops. I never have understood it. I never will understand sand drops.
I found like 6 really good ones this year, and like 3 of them were in a place that I practiced last year but gave up on because I fished like the first third of this area, and I'm like, they're not here. I gotta go. I gotta keep moving. And then this year I was like, nah, I'm going in. So I found where the current came in and it was super shallow. Like, you're not getting your boat over it unless you're in a small tin rig and your trolling motor's like blowing water. Mm-hmm. And there was 3 sand drops, and I rolled up in practice, threw up there, instantly caught like a 2.5, 2 3/4 smallie. Go to the next one, catch a 3-pound largemouth. Go to the next one, catch a 3-pound largemouth. And I looked at Juice and I'm like, bruh, we're in.
Juice is just sitting in the passenger seat eating meat snacks, listening to country music, making sure that he's got extra sunscreen on fair skin.
He did put sunscreen on a lot. But yeah, man, it was cool. So we had a lot more areas this year, but like day 1 of the tournament, I found some fish on this where deep water comes up and creates like a ledge, and then it's like a spawning flat. And I threw up there and lost one that was probably like 4.5 pounds.
In the derb?
No, in practice.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, holy crap. So a boat came in there and I defended my area. So like
a Juice stand on the back and shoot daggers.
And, basically. But so I was just like flipping a jig, just like, trying to pretend like I'm fishing. Like, so he just leaves, right? Well, it's so shallow up top. I throw my jig and like I wasn't even trying, like I really didn't mean to throw it all the way on top. And I'm just kind of like half-heartedly just like working this jig, and then all of a sudden I feel the minute I felt that, bait fish like scattered out of the water, and I picked up on it a little bit, looked at Juice, and I'm like, bro, it's really big. So I was like, hit a dot. I'm like, all right, we're gonna start here, and then we're gonna go run the other place, and then the other place, and then the other place, and we'll circulate. And he's like, all right, cool. So in the morning of the tournament, we run in there, and they're not up there anymore. So they're either not on the edge of it, or they're all the way back, and I can't get in it. Maybe if I had a push pull, maybe. But like the only boat I ever saw get on top of it was like a legitimate like 15-foot flat bottom. And they were just blowing mud everywhere the whole time. And their trolling motor was like, the prop was out of the water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I scrambled. I ran to that area where we caught them last year, and there's like 7 boats in there doing the thing. And I was like, no way. So we got in an area, like a little cut, and we caught 2 in there. And I was like, okay, at least we got 2. Like we gotta get out of here. Go run to the other area, boat on it. And I'm like, how did they find this all the way in here? I was like, oh no. Like now, like
that river is notorious for not seeing a boat for 4 miles, making 19 turns. And then when you make the 20th turn right where you want to fish, there's some asshat sitting there just plugging them.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, what the hell?
Well, the thing about it was like that boat kept blowing up on top. Like the boat that was back there kept like blowing up on top of the sand drops and just like blowing sand and mud. I'm like, what? Like,
okay, I'm going to pause right here. I'm going to go with Frank. I'm not trying to get your secrets for the river. I just want to know in general, Frank, explain a sand drop to a guy from Oklahoma.
So basically, sand is obviously not solid. Okay. So the current washes it away, and you have current grooves in it. You could see them on Oneida in places. If you get shallow enough, there'll be sand ridges, and you can get your boat and parallel the bank into the ridges. The waves make them. And the smallmouth cruise those. Like they love those things. And so they're constantly changing. But
it's smooth. It's literally just
like
barren sand.
Yes, it's drop. like waves, and where the current runs, it pushes all the particles out, and it creates a trough. Okay, those troughs will change, predicated on spring flooding, whatever. They're constantly changing. But the bass love those things, and they could, and here like on Oneida, there's a flat on Oneida. It's a very well-known flat, and it comes way out into the lake. If you troll a motor on top of the flat, when you start to get closer to the bank, all of a sudden you'll get these 6-foot sand dredges in there, and they're parallel to the bank, they're parallel to the shoreline, and the smallmouth cruise in there, dude. And
it's a northern thing, though. I have never since I moved to Oklahoma in 2005, once heard a guy mention a sand drop on any fishery in Oklahoma.
Yeah, because you got all red clay where you live.
Okay. So it is something that is regional.
Yeah. A lot of natural lakes have them. Florida will have them, but Florida doesn't have the smallmouth.
Because I'm not going to lie, Bart multiple times was like, we're going to fish a sand drop. And I was like, I don't know what the hell that means. And every sand drop looked atrocious.
Yeah,
it looked horrible. Like, you're what are we fishing here? And he's like, sand. And I'm like, I don't understand this.
Yeah, it's a very thing on the river. It's a very thing. And Matt, northern smallmouth lakes, they do the same thing.
Yeah. I've heard about it all up north. I mean, it's a northern thing.
Yeah, Lake Michigan, Sturgeon Bay, all those places synonymous for that. Primarily
smallmouth.
Yes. Now in the river, you'll get largemouth that use them too because of the grass factor. But in the Great Lakes, it's a smallmouth thing.
John, I think the only pure sand that you follow are the 2 beaches.
Hey, Matt.
Yes.
I sent you a link. On your
I know.
phone.
I don't have time to like download that.
It's really small,
Oh, okay.
but it's the last catch of the second day, and
Okay,
like,
so yeah, you come through on the first day. You have you and Juice,
yep.
big
So
bass.
we're running our stuff, and it's crowded and cooked, and I'm like, I'm at that moment in time in a tournament where you run your three best things, and they're all cooked, and it's like you either spin out or you keep going and adjust. So we make a move, and I'm like, dude, let's go fish this stretch. We didn't practice it, but we fished it last year. Pull up, first cast, I catch a 465. And I'm like, I can't believe this fish is here because I can't believe someone didn't fish this. It's insanely obvious. So I was like, sweet. Keep going, throw back up, whack, another one. And I looked at Juice. I'm like, I can't believe this, dude. I'm like, dude, once we get to the end of this thing where the swing is, we're gonna hammer him. I pulled out a wobblehead and just started wobbleheading this thing, dude. And we filled out our limit there pretty quick. And I was like, dang, I can't believe this hasn't been beat to death. So I was like, all right, let's go back to where we started. There's some stuff in there that we didn't practice on that I really want to fish because it looks right. And with the way the wind was that day, I was like, it's going to be blowing right here. And like there's a little point that sticks out there. And I was like, there's a backwater behind it. And I'm like, if they're still pre-spawn and they're staged, they're going to be right here, dude. He's like, let's go. We go in there. Dude, we called out almost every fish we had except for that giant. I roll up in there. We get there. I throw up 4-pounder, 3-pounder. Juice catches one. It's almost 3 pounds. Catch another one. It's almost 3 pounds. And we called out like 3-4 fish in there in like 5 minutes. And I was like,
Perfect.
Like, man, that was wild. And then day 2 was an absolute grinder.
I've got it queued up. So
this is the last. So this is the clip of the literal last possible cast I could have made without being late. Like, if Juice took longer to put his life jacket on, if anything is different,
he can be pretty speedy. He's deceptively fast.
If we delay by 20 seconds, we're late.
All right, let's see if we can have it. So it's a 6-fish tournament. You were in the top 10 after day 1. Last year, just to set the scene, you had a great first day and only boxed 5 on day 2. And how far are you from check-in at this point?
I'm as far away as I can get without being in another pool.
Okay. So you're 8 miles from check-in.
8-9 miles. I made this last cast with like 11 minutes left before check-in.
We'll see if we can do fair warning, I have no idea what the audio is on this.
There is one swear word. I'm sorry for it, but it was pretty great.
We're going to play it, and you can deal with LureNet if they have a problem with it. Here we go. What?
One more. And boom.
Yes, put it in the box. We got
It's
you did unhook it.
Yeah, I didn't realize it because I was like, just throw it in. It's just pure panic.
Oh, shit, we gotta go. Oh my god.
last cast of magic, and that was like a $2,000 fish, Frankie.
It sure was, bud.
Does that bring back some watching that, Frank? Does that bring back some nostalgia Derby Day memories watching Frankie do that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's very it's a very weird position because I love it as much as the next guy does, but it's really cool to see him do it. It's cool to see you do it. I miss a lot of it. I miss a lot of, I miss a big part of the game. So yeah,
But
it's
you
pretty
also, I mean, like almost like like you could say that about any professional athlete.
cool. Right.
Like when they retire, they're gonna miss a part of that game. But like you did that. That was you for a while. You had your time. You lived it.
Right.
We're just trying to get you to have one more time.
I understand.
Oh man, that's funny.
I understand, man. I know where you're going. I know
But,
what you're driving for.
But no, that was clutch, man.
That was cool.
That was super clutch, and that resulted in 7th place, second time you'd ever been on those pools of the river after you fished it last year, correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
And that is not a field that you to joke around with. Like those guys, they're there to raise money for St. Jude, but they're also there to smoke everyone. Like it's guy they take that very serious in the most friendly way possible.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
like, I'll be honest, like the last couple hours of each day, depending on where you are, you have to consciously remind yourself that this is a charity event for St. Jude to raise $10 million over the years and not day 3 of the Bassmaster Classic, because everyone knows each other. The river is demanding. It's a pretty prestigious event up north there. And the adrenaline kind of wears off and you're like, okay, cool. It was great. Didn't happen this year. We had a great time. But like, dude, those are the moments that you live for. The last cast magic, being in the hunt and knowing that was a money fish.
Dude, the funny part is I've done that like 4 or 5 different times in a tournament. Just like last minute, last cast, like boom. I'm like, can't even believe it. But yeah, huge shout out to Joe and Michelle, dude. They came down just to film a bunch of stuff and hang out with us.
Yeah, I saw some of the footage. Pretty good.
And I know I've spent a lot of time in the boat with Juice, and I know like he gets so involved in it too, where it's just he's like, we need one more, we got to get one more. So that was a cool moment that you guys will always be able to share together. So
yeah, I love fishing with Juice. It's a good time, man.
Yeah,
he's a good dude.
Yeah, very good dude. Juicesjigs.com. I think he might be doing a drop here pretty soon. He's got like 2 or 3 new designs that are coming out.
Oh, they're sweet too.
Cool. Yeah. Day 1, Matt, Steffen, and Hank. Matt had a 630 something. It was a $2,500 fish, I believe.
Giant. Yeah. Absolute giant for there.
Yeah, and here's the thing. It was a 630, I want to say, and it had no gut at all. Like to be long. That big and it was a legitimate 8-pound fish if it wasn't spawned out.
Wow.
That
thing must have looked like a pike.
It did. It was like you look at the head and I mean, but it looked like a spawned out TVA largemouth.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an old fish for up there, man.
I saw him pull that fish out of live well when I was walking by and I was like, what?
It was a cool event on day 1. I don't know how I've got all the clips for it, but Matt is obsessed with Quick Trip gas stations. And Quick Trip, I'm a Buc-ee's guy. Quick Trip with the K, Quick Trip with the Q is Oklahoma's version.
Gotcha.
But they sell like steaks and salads. They sell like corn on the cob. They sell like weird stuff for a gas station, and they're small gas stations. One of the things, so I walk in early in the morning and I just see these enormous baked potatoes, raw, like just like you would go to the grocery store in the produce section and get the raw baked potatoes that, straight out of the ground. And I'm like, charity event, no points on the line. I'm going to mess with Steffen and Hank, and I'm going to bury a potato in their boat and not tell them, just so at some point during the day he's rummaging through his tackle and he's like, it's a potato.
I thought you were going to hide it so when it got rotten.
No, I wasn't going to do that. It was a good-natured joke. It wasn't, awesome. It wasn't like the puked up shad behind the driver's seat deal.
Oh, God.
I don't know anything about that, hypothetically.
I'm so happy I got to be a part of the potato.
Yeah, but they
so
definitely found the potato and it definitely spun them out. But they used it as more of a rally potato because he had big fish of the day that day. So what I thought could have been a little bit of gamesmanship turned into the lucky potato.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he's got a little nose and ears and eyes on it.
Yeah, I
Little
doubt
life
he's listening
jacket.
tonight. I told Court, I said, get on Amazon. I said, we have the Stefan's address from our wedding. I said, and I'd like you to send a Mr. Potato Head to Hank with no note and no return address.
Savage. I love it.
That's great, dude. That's great. Hey,
Yeah,
those are the good things. Like, you know, that's a completely harmless one. And we like when it comes to the opens and stuff, you don't. That's a no-go zone for pranks or messing around or anything like that. But you get like maybe a day every couple years where you're around your buddy in something with the cameras where you can throw a potato in the rod box and just let it marinate.
Dude, you know what he told me after he found, because I was talking to him. We were both at boat in the morning. He was showing me something, and he had his kid open the tackle compartment, and he turns around with a spud. And he's like, why is there a potato in here? And he Stefan looks at me. He goes,
I nestled it amongst his plastics.
he looks at me straight away and goes, you did this. And I was like, I've never been in your boat a day in my life, Matt. It was hilarious. He's like, you know what? Tomorrow's coming, dude, and I'm going to put a rotten watermelon in your live well. Good luck getting that out.
Yeah, they did. We did this thing at Traverse City, Michigan. Fish with a kid for inner city kids, raise money and stuff for them. And everybody was there. Ike was there. KVD was there. And Ike's like, hey, you want to go catch salmon tonight? We're going salmon fishing. I go, nah, you guys go. I got a cornhole thing I'm doing with Zona and KVD. So I'm not going to be able to go. So long and short of it is, so we get all idiot like and, playing the beanbag game all night and drinking like idiots and get up in the morning and you get paired with a guy who donates the money.
Right.
You take him out and he catches fish and you bring his best fish back and they weigh them in and they, do that. So we're out on this lake and he catches one. And so while he's fighting it in, I just clicked my live well on, but I forgot I had it on pump out. And so the water starts shooting out of my live well pump out and it's freaking orange. And I'm like, what? And I open up my live well lid. Those idiots got a big salmon and threw it in my live well.
One of those spawning salmon that were half rotten when they caught them anyway.
All the eggs, dude, everything. It was...
Oh, you got gotten.
Oh, did I ever? It was Kevin Worth and Ike did it. And so I told Worth, I said, I hope you find the 2 bluegills I put in your truck somewhere.
Have you ever been jacked with Frankie?
Me or my
I want
kid?
to answer that, dude.
Frankie Jr.
No.
Dude, I had one. We were at Eufaula for a Bass Nation, and I had parked in kind of like an out-of-the-way ramp. Like it was a different part of the lake, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple guys who like that part of the lake. And I was just exploring that day. And it was it was a weather-aware day in Oklahoma. So it was one of those days where you kind of kept your phone by you. This was probably 7, 8 years ago. And the sirens go off. Like it was like,
shit.
Hey, and it was one of those where it was really calm and kind of sticky feeling. And then it was like, okay, time to get off the water. I made sure I was within a couple miles of the ramp and I hustle back. I mean, and I love weather, but I don't want to be in a bass boat in it. And I back the truck in really fast and I throw it on the trailer. And it's one of those really steep ramps where if you launch by yourself, you have to keep the boat in gear, run up front, click it, and then winch it the last like 3 or 4 inches. You know what I mean? Like it won't stay up there. Every time it'll slide off. And I go up to winch it, and there's no latch. And I'm like, what the hell? and it's like, woo, and I'm a nervous guy anyway. And I'm like, what's going on? And the boat sliding back, and I'm looking, and I notice there's no cable or whatever strap that the latch should be attached to. Like the strap is gone. It's just bare.
They took your
It's
strap.
just bare. So I have to back my boat off, and I'm like leaning under it, and I'm panicking, and now it's gusting like 30, and I'm just trying to get to a car wash place that I was going to park under for hail and all that. I mean,
Right.
I'm the only one at the ramp. So I have to back the boat off of the trailer, beach it, run back around, pull my truck up, and one of the other dudes in the nation had driven by, seen my truck there before the bad weather was, and had done the deal where he stripped all 30 feet of latch stuff out and candy caned it around my trailer. So my latch was actually back by my damn tire. So the sirens are going off. It's blowing 40. I'm the only one at this crappy ramp, and I have to uncandy cane the whole freaking thing
and wind it in.
and then wind it in, then jump back in the boat. I was so mad.
You had to be so
I
mad.
was so pissed off. But there was also a level of respect there.
Yeah, after the fact.
Yes, and the only way that I found out who it was we were at our meeting, and I was just dog cussing whoever did it. And there was one guy who appeared, he just wasn't super, he was trying
not to be noticed.
And that's how I figured out who it was.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
That's good.
That is so funny. Hey, at least he didn't take it off.
No, I mean, like I said, there's a difference between, like, I don't think you ever want to do a dead fish prank is if it's fresh, but like any of that stuff that could actually mess with your equipment or anything, that's a hard no-go zone. But there's some time for some
tomfoolery. That's like they did to, I forget if they did it to Jimmy Houston or Roland Martin. They put the mannequin head in his live well.
Oh, I didn't know. That would be terrifying.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
Did you fish Falcon, Frank?
No.
I guess at Falcon, one of the guys ran over a rattlesnake on the way back one night, and they chopped its head off, so it was harmless. But then they laid it right on the stoop, the door frame of one of the guys. They were all staying at one of those outside hotels.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that's what's his name's room. And they laid that rattlesnake dead nuts. So he comes stumbling out 5 a.m. to go practice. And the first thing he does is just roll over that rattlesnake with his foot right outside his door.
Oh, they're brutal, man. They're brutal.
But yeah. All right. Well, I know you're on thin ice saying that you're going to talk about bass fishing for an hour after being gone for 17 days bass fishing, Frankie. So I'll let you go.
We're just packing. Like, we're moving to Tennessee on Monday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you
That's
say
great.
that the first day you're going to just go on a Chickamauga bender?
So we move like Monday, Tuesday next week, and then we got to leave for Kentucky Lake Friday.
Wow.
When do we leave for Kentucky Lake? Okay, so I've got the St. Jude. I fish with Mark Jeffries. Tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, or tomorrow afternoon, he comes over. Then we practice Thursday, Friday, tournament Saturday, get home Sunday. And then then there's a week, and then that following Saturday.
No, dude, if you're getting home on the 10th, you got to leave like the 14th or 15th.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm only like 7 hours from Kentucky Lake.
All right, so you can leave Friday like me.
No, I'll leave. I'll leave
Saturday.
early Saturday morning, get to the house Saturday, and then practice starts on Saturday?
Yeah.
Wait, practice starts on Saturday for that tournament?
Yeah, bud.
Oh my God.
It's a good thing you had me on. You'd be in some trouble.
Well, you saw how good 3 full days of practice worked for me last time we were there. I caught 1 damn bass.
Oh, you'll be
So.
fine.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Meanwhile,
Granley,
Frank's just sipping on cognac, watching deer in his backyard, going, these guys are running themselves ragged, while I'm just painting masterpieces and enjoying quiet evenings at home.
Yeah.
no, that's funny.
That is funny, man. You guys are running yourselves ragged.
Yeah, but I live for that.
Yeah, I know.
That's been my life since what, 19?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. The longest stint I had 1 year was 3 3/4 months I was gone from home.
I remember
Straight. Yeah.
Almost 4 months on the road.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
It was a good schedule. They should do that again.
Yeah, whoever planned that schedule was never a salesman.
I'm glad Court's so chill. Like, we got that spare bedroom here, and I got guys in and out all the time. But it's nice when you can, like, at least just stop, do your laundry, have a home cooked meal, watch some freaking Netflix on a couch, and just relax for a day and a half.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for letting me crash, by the way.
No, it was all good. That's what I said. That's what it's there for.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
And I'm comfortable enough to where it's like, hey, there's the bathroom, there's the bedroom, beer's in the fridge. I gotta mow the yard. You know what I mean? Like, just have at it.
Yeah, it works.
That's cool.
So,
heck yeah.
Yeah. Joe said he sent you the Spud video. So Clint from Yamaha has some portions of it. You have some portions of it. I have like a. I actually was planning this.
I sent it to you.
Yeah, I was planning this the Spud. The attack of the Spud for 2 or 3 days.
That's good.
So
that was good.
So I actually have, like, there's the video of me in the Quick Trip talking about what's going on. And then, there's the video of the Spud in the basket at the Quick Trip.
That's funny, man.
And then I actually have an interview with Matt Steffen where I asked him, after I'd placed the Spud, I went back and he was clueless. And I was like, hey, bud, you ready to mash him today? And then I said,
don't weigh in anything a bit smaller than a French fry.
Yeah, I said, you going to catch a couple spuds? And he goes, you mean studs? And I go, yeah, you're going to catch a couple studs. And then I said that Bard had found a shell bed and that they were sitting on the scalloped edges of the shell bed. So I dropped like 4 or 5 potato references on camera, and he was completely clueless at the time.
That's so good.
So yeah, so I guess the Spud made its way home because after the tournament. Let's see if he sent it to me.
Was it all baked?
He said the potato is now part of our family, and that's them back at their house.
Oh, that's good.
And then I sent him this, and it just said potatoes will potate. So a completely random. There is no deeper meaning behind that.
That's so funny, though.
It is what it is. Oh, I can't show that picture. That was that picture you sent me today of that color.
Oh,
that you were messing around with.
Yeah, don't put that color out there yet.
You guys will be able to get your hands on that probably in about 2 years. If we're being honest. Early 2029. Save up, fellas.
That's 2027. And I believe it will be May, June.
Phenomenal. All right, I'm gonna let you go, Frankie Jr. Wrapping up here. Good to see you. I'll see you next Saturday.
Yeah, bud.
Yeah. See ya.
See you, man.
See you, bud.
There you go. Frankie Jr. doing the deal.
That was great, man. Yeah, you're busy, dude.
That's gotta make you proud.
Yeah, of course it does.
Frankie make those little adjustments.
Of course it does, man.
Last cast, top 10.
That's good.
I think he'll catch him at Kentucky Lake too. I have no doubt in my mind that that's more of his style than Oklahoma's weird. So there's no natural lakes in Oklahoma. and there's also not usually there's not a lot of lakes that have the current flow through them. There's no grass. It's multiple different types of hard bottoms. You have a lot of different, I didn't realize how unique Oklahoma was.
Oh yeah.
As far as the style of fish, because it's like you get up in the Ozarks and it's kind of Ozarky, but like Grand is so further south there. It fishes more like a Eufaula, Fort Gibson, something, not just as far as how it behaves, I guess, with the water up and down and color and changing. And if you're not used to it, that's like me going up north and trying to fish freaking sand drops.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, I don't know what the hell to do. It's all muddy and it's all rock. Like, what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, your waters are different for sure. I mean, I've been to Grand before. So I know kind of what Grand's all about, but some of the lakes you and I went to, I'd be like, yeah, we're going to a different lake. This is filthy.
All right. No show Thursday morning. This Thursday is the Thursday. The week after that, I will be in studio.
Oh man. We'll do
it live, but then I have to leave the next day.
Oh my gosh, dude!
For the Bassmaster Open, I would have been driving all day at practice if Frankie hadn't said anything. I think we probably got our house starting on Saturday and not Friday.
I'll tell you what, man. Admire the running around you're doing, Matt.
Dude, I've been doing it since 2008.
Yeah, I get it.
I like it though.
It's
but
fun.
I do have a flower bed that I need to get the lava rock out of and put mulch in. And I do have, just the little stuff that as you get older, you're like, oh, I really could break out the weed eater and get around where the trash can gets.
Yeah.
This stuff that never was an issue before. We were like, it'd be nice to have like 3 days to do that. But then I enjoy doing it. So I don't want to like pay someone to come do it.
Yeah. My own stuff too. I got to get out and get hands dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm the same way. All right.
Hey,
this has been
good, dude. Good luck this week, man.
Yeah, I'm fishing with Jeffrey. So we'll probably do a show tomorrow at noon, Wednesday at noon, talking about that. And then
we'll crush them, dude. Crush them.
That's the game plan. Maybe we'll get
Jeffrey
on his first glide bass. First glide bait fish.
That'll be good.
He would lose his mind if one of those 5-pounders comes out from a dock when he's twitching it and just kamikazes a freaking 7-inch glide.
Because you could see it.
Yeah, all visual. And I think there's probably still some fish on the bed, so we'll probably get stuck on a 2.5-pounder for a couple hours, but such is life.
Hey.
Such is life.
You'll be good, my man.
All right, this has been another edition of Day 4 with Frank Scalish. We'll be live next Thursday, 8:30 a.m. Central Time. Don't forget, code capital BTL 25 to get 15% off regularly priced items at lurenet.com. And the signature series drop of the Norman in the Frank Scalish signature series bluegill color.
Bandit.
Bomber. What is it?
Bandit number
Bomber.
6. BD6.
No, it's not a bandit.
Bomber. What the hell's going on, Matt?
Lure Henson.
Where are we? It's a bomber.
It's a jitterbug.
BD's. Just get it. It's Thursday.
Colored jitterbug.
It's Thursday. Don't forget.
It's a bluegill colored bomber.
BD6. Yeah.
Bye.
Goodbye.